The ball was in the net. The celebration had started. Mehdi Taremi was running. His teammates were chasing him. The Iranian fans inside Los Angeles Stadium were already on their feet. And then the VAR screen lit up. 1 minute, 2 minutes, the review taking what felt like an eternity, while tens of thousands of hearts either rose or fell, depending on the color they were wearing. And when referee Clément Turpin reached to his earpiece and signaled the goal disallowed, the roar inside that stadium split clean down the middle. One half of it erupted in relief. The other half, the Iranian diaspora who had made this stadium their home for 90 minutes, fell into a silence that carried everything they had been carrying all tournament long. Mehdi Taremi's goal against Belgium was ruled offside by the finest of margins. One of the most carefully constructed, brilliantly executed free kick routines this World Cup has produced, gone, wiped from the board. And Iran, who needed a result desperately, walked away from today's match with a 0-0 draw, a point that may not be enough, and a question that the football world cannot stop asking. Was that decision right? And even if it was it fair? Stay with us, because what happened at Los Angeles Stadium this evening is one of the most dramatic and most debated moments of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. To understand what Iran produced today, you have to begin with the context, not the politics, not the geopolitics, just the football reality of where this team stood walking into this match. Iran drew their opening group match 2-2 with New Zealand. They needed something from Belgium. And Belgium are not a team you need things from lightly. Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku, one of the most experienced squads in this tournament, ranked inside the world's top 10 with a squad that has been building toward a major tournament triumph for more than a decade. Facing Belgium in a must-result match with 17 players who had not kicked a competitive ball since February is the kind of challenge that most football analysts would have looked at and quietly written Iran off. Iran did not look written off, not for a single minute. The tactical organization that coach Amir Galenoui set up was disciplined, intelligent, and resolute. Belgium controlled the ball, 59% possession across the 90 minutes, but Iran controlled the spaces. Belgium generated 23 attempts at goal. Iran allowed only 7 on target to beat their goalkeeper Alireza Berenvand. For long stretches of the match, Belgium looked not like a team dominating, but like a team frustrated, unable to find the penetrating pass, unable to unlock a defensive structure that held its shape with the quiet determination of a team that had something to prove. And then, in the 42nd minute, Iran did not just hold their shape, they broke from it and produced something beautiful. A free kick, a carefully rehearsed routine, players making overlapping runs, Taremi drifting from deep, arriving at the right moment. He found the ball and finished cleanly. The net moved, the celebration erupted. The Mirror called it an attempt to replicate Wout Weghorst's famous goal for the Netherlands against Argentina at the 2022 World Cup, a brilliantly timed run from deep into a free kick routine that catches defenders flat-footed. Iran tried exactly that, and for one extraordinary minute it appeared to have worked. VAR said otherwise. The decision was offside. The margin was small enough that analysts reviewing the footage immediately began disagreeing about what they were seeing. Multiple pundits watching replays questioned whether the lines had been drawn at the optimal moment of the kick. The debate is ongoing. What is not debated is the result. The goal did not stand. If you are following the full story of this World Cup, subscribe now and hit the bell, because what happened after that disallowed goal is where the drama truly escalates. Iran did not collapse. They continued to defend. They continued to threaten on the counterattack. They continued to be exactly the team they had been before the disallowed goal, organized, determined, and entirely unwilling to accept the narrative that they were outclassed. And then Belgium handed them something Iran could not have anticipated.
In the 66th minute, Belgium defender Nathan Ngoy received the ball from a back pass and mishit it catastrophically. The ball barely reached goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois. Taremi was onto it in an instant, racing clear. Ngoy, realizing what had happened, raised his arm and hauled the striker down. Straight red card. Belgium down to 10 men. Iran with a free kick from a dangerous position and the numerical advantage for the final 25 minutes of a match where a win would have transformed their World Cup. They did not score. Belgium, 10 men in all, held on. Courtois, at 43 years old and still operating at the highest level, made the saves he needed to make. The match ended 0-0. 3 points were available for Iran tonight in Los Angeles. They returned to Tijuana with 1. The reaction from inside Iran's camp after the final whistle was a mixture of pride and frustration that is almost impossible to fully separate. Their performance had been extraordinary by any objective measure. They had neutralized one of the tournament's most experienced squads. They had created the match's best goal-scoring opportunity, the kind of moment that, had it stood, would have been talked about for days. They had earned a red card for the opposition and pressed with 10 men against 11 for the final quarter of the game without finding a winner. Against Belgium, with 17 players who had not competed since February, flying in from Tijuana that morning on a charter flight. Coach Galinawi said after the match that his team had shown they belong at this level. He said the disallowed goal was a painful moment that changed the dynamic of the game entirely. He said his players had given everything. The statistics support his assessment with brutal clarity. Belgium had 59% possession and produced 23 attempts. Iran had 7. And yet the only genuine moment of quality, the only time the net was supposed to ripple, came from Iran's side of the board. The disallowed goal is already generating its own separate debate in football circles tonight. The offside call, confirmed by VAR, was marginal enough that multiple experienced commentators and former officials are arguing about whether the line technology drew the freeze frame at precisely the right moment of the kick. The rules require the lines to be set at the precise instant the ball is played. Milliseconds matter, and in a match where the margin between advancement and elimination is measured in goals, those milliseconds carry the full weight of a nation's World Cup. FIFA has not commented on the specific decision beyond confirming that VAR operated within standard protocols. What the decision has done, whether it was correct to the letter of the law or not, is added another layer to a tournament that has been producing controversy at every turn. Algeria's formal complaint about the Messi challenge, the first red card for covering a mouth, the disallowed goal that could have put Iran ahead of Belgium at a World Cup. 3 weeks of football, 3 moments that have forced the sport to examine how its laws operate under the maximum possible pressure. Iran now face Egypt in their final group match on the 26th of June in Seattle. They need a win. Egypt drew their opening match against Belgium and face New Zealand before that. The mathematics of Group G are tight, unresolved, and completely open. 3 matches in the group have now ended in draws. Nobody has won, nobody is eliminated. What that means is that Iran's tournament is not over, not by the final calculation. 1 win against Egypt would almost certainly be enough. And this evening, against Belgium, Iran showed exactly what they are capable of producing when they have the space and structure to do it. The disallowed goal will be talked about in Iranian football for years. So will Beiranvand's saves. So will the tactical intelligence of a defensive setup that neutralized Kevin De Bruyne for the better part of 90 minutes. So will Nathan Ngoy's disastrous back pass and his red card, and the 25 minutes Iran spent pressing with the man advantage and the ball refusing to go in. This is a team that came to the 2026 World Cup carrying everything that football can carry. And tonight in Los Angeles, they played football that deserved more than a 0-0 draw. The goal was in the net. For 1 minute, it was beautiful. Then VAR took it away, and Iran flew back to Tijuana with a point that feels, for now, like much less than the night deserved.